Welcome, friends, haters, gentle lovers, and feeders. Join me as we experience together the most bafflingly interesting person on the internet. On today's episode, Amberlynn Reed does basically nothing. Hello, my friends. So, I know this was recorded a couple weeks ago, but even back then, there were some serious and important allegations and things that Amberlynn could address. But instead, she's going to address the truth about FBI Frank with screenshots, voice memos, whatever. And most of these things are pretty easily faked, so I'll be interested to see what she has to say, even though this is clearly just a distraction, right? This is just a way for her to be like, maybe they won't pay attention to all the real serious stuff if we get them talking about FBI Frank again. But what she doesn't understand is we can rip her to shreds over this stupid stuff and also remember that she's a creep and an abuser and all those other things too. So we'll just take a little detour into stupid FBI Frank stuff while still remembering that she's a horrible human being. So if you don't know the FBI Frank story, I'm not going to tell the whole thing, but just real quick. She was getting death threats, apparently, in her comments. She claims the FBI showed up at her house, and not only did he show up, but in typical Amber fashion, he complimented her on how big her subscriber count was. And it was only 100,000 subscribers back then, I think, if I remember right. So, I mean, it wasn't some huge amount. So obviously the whole thing is stupid and a lie. So I am interested to see what she has to say about it, even though there's no real point in it. But you know what? We're here for it. We're here for just the stupid stuff sometimes too. Kind of on a quick side note, I appreciate the kind reception that I got on my video that I released yesterday. The sort of rant about why are we addicted to gorlworld and why that's okay, you know. It was really just meant for those of us, I've had these moments where I will watch a few reaction channels and watch some videos, and I'll get to a point where I'm just like, I hate this. Why am I still watching this? I'm so annoyed and frustrated. Why do I keep watching this? So it was meant for those of you who have ever had a moment like that. But also, you know, if you watch because you just enjoy it and it's entertaining, that's cool too. You know, I think we all stay in gorlworld for different reasons, but I think that there is one common thread between all of us, regardless of why we watch. And that is that we can all agree that this person is a monster. So let's just all join hands and gather together and roast this piece of shit. If you'd like to like and subscribe, that would literally be hectic. I'm not going to lie. And I've got her sped up to 1.5 because she talks pretty slow and it's a pretty long video. So yeah, we're going to speed this up a little bit, but here we go.
Hey guys, welcome to another Reactalyn video. I figured we should do one about the FBI Frank story. Since then,
yeah, she just figured, right? Not that she's trying to distract everybody. Not that she thought, what else can I talk about besides the real important stuff? I know, FBI Frank, something really stupid and pointless. She just figured it would be fun, you know.
and people have been literally trolling me about this story. I want to clarify exactly what happened. Did I actually lie about this? Or do I have proof that it did happen? Okay.
It's the over-exaggerated facial expression. Did I lie? You know, I have a feeling we'll see that a lot in this video. Not only in her react, but in this part too. I think both versions of her are going to be over-animated and full of tells. Her usual tells that she's lying. And I love how she says, since I told the story of FBI Frank, people have been literally trolling me about it. Like, no, you're the troll. Like, the story you told is a troll.
So today we have a mukbang and a story time for you guys, which I am so excited for. It's actually like really random and weird. So in this video, I'm actually in my office, and that picture that's behind me is this beautiful woman, and her nipples were out. Yep. We have water as well.
Hang on. So can you see it?
This beautiful woman, and her nipples were out. Yep.
I mean, maybe at some point she moves her head where you can see it, but so she's got a picture of nipples. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a picture of nipples. That sounds interesting.
We have water is what we were drinking today. Wow, your girl was drinking water back then. I need to take my advice because I have not drank a drop of water in weeks, and I'm not joking about that.
What? No. Yeah, idiot, we know. I drink a lot of water, and I don't really enjoy just drinking water. So I have found that drinking sparkling water makes it easier for me to get more water because for some reason, I don't know if it like tricks my brain into thinking I'm getting some kind of soda or something, but it, to me, is just more refreshing. Now, it is a little weird. You have to kind of get used to it. But once you get over that hurdle, sparkling water really has helped me with my water intake. And so I find myself drinking a lot more water. And you can get like LaCroix and things like that have some flavors. So if you find one that you like, it's far better than soda and stuff like that. Even though diet soda doesn't have calories, it's still not good for you.
And what we are eating today is Singapore rice noodle, which is so freaking good. This is what it looks like. I want to eat on a plate though. Oh my gosh. In Virginia, oh my god, this is so much. Singapore rice noodle, or as it's also called Singapore Mei Fun, is literally one of my favorite things to get at a Chinese restaurant. And they give you so much. They literally pack that container so full.
Is she really, so I know we're going to get to the FBI Frank stuff, but is she really reacting to the food? I mean, hey, it's Amberlynn. Of course, this is the important part. She wants to make sure she talks about the food because that's taking up the most space in her head is the food.
I've never finished that in one sitting. I think it's impossible.
Okay, now we know that's not true. Beck has even come out and said that she would say, oh, I can't finish this. I can't. I'm not hungry anymore. I can't finish this. And then she would turn off the camera and finish it. That's what she would do probably every time. In fact, Beck said she doesn't remember a single time that Amberlynn actually threw away food. So, yeah, I just don't buy it. I think she ate all of it.
Holy, okay, so in Virginia, they called it Singapore rice noodle where I got it. But here in Kentucky, they call it Mei Fun. Absolutely amazing. So how are you guys doing?
So at this time, Amberlynn was making a ton of money because she realized that just eating in front of the camera was a way to make a shitload of money. Now, why that is, I have no idea. I don't know why that's so appealing to so many people, especially her, because the way she chews and the noises that she makes and stuff, it's just nasty. So I cannot figure out why so many people, and maybe it's because people just enjoy stuff that makes them uncomfortable, right? It makes them go, ugh, what is this? And they just can't get enough of it. I guess that has to be it. But yeah, this was when she was making probably the most money on YouTube, was when she was regularly doing mukbangs. So yeah, I mean, what an easy job, bro. Just sitting and eating and talking, like, must have been nice.
Oh, by the way, this has a little spice to it. So if you don't like spicy foods, definitely don't go for it. I'm telling you, life is so much easier when I just filmed mukbangs. Such easy content. Like, eat a good meal and just talk while you're doing it. But
yeah, hey, we agreed on something. Oh, I don't like that. Well, anyway, yeah, at least she admits it was just total bullshit. She could just sit, eat, and talk and make so much money. Well, not like we didn't know that, but it's just kind of nice to hear that she can recognize how easy and stupid it was.
But it's not fun to react to. It's not fun to watch. I will say that.
And she's chewing in the front. Okay, so I got this picture because I always ask, why on earth does she chew in the front? You know? And I kept thinking, like, there's got to be either something wrong with her back teeth or they're missing or something. But this is Amberlynn, and I got an email that somebody found this on the Reddit. I need to spend more time on Reddit. I don't really get Reddit. It's not, I'm too old for it, I think. But yeah, this is the inside of Amber's mouth. Like,
what the hell is even that?
I mean, I think that explains a lot of why she chews in the front like a horse. But anyway.
I was going to do my makeup, but I realized my face needs to breathe. Okay. Story time. So being on YouTube comes with a fair share of disappointments. I mean, amongst amazing things as well. But something that I consider a disappointment is like telling people to off themselves or threatening to off someone. Why? Well, it's pretty simple. These people hide behind keyboards and they can say whatever the hell they want with no consequences whatsoever. So they're
Oh, it's Victim Lynn making an appearance. That makes sense. I mean, she's special, right? She's the only one that ever gets threats or, negative comments. But she claims she's grown so much and she's, become such a better person. But she's still saying the same thing. She used to say this exact same thing 10 years ago. The These trolls just sit behind their keyboards and they don't have any consequences for anything. Like, girl, where have you been? This is the internet. Like, I could understand if you were saying that in the video you were reacting to from years ago, but you're saying it now. Like, just grow up, get over it.
There has been like this idea floating around, which I feel like is such a good idea, that like if you're going to be on certain social medias, like you have to show your ID with that username. So if things are being said that are extremely scary, like ultimately like hardcore harassment and threats, like your username and your comment or your messages are linked up to your ID. I think that's such a freaking great idea.
I mean, she has such a surface level thought process. There's so much wrong with that. I mean, just to start off with, no website is as secure as they want you to think it is, right? So she doesn't know what she's talking about. But I mean, she is the example of Dunning-Kruger. I mean, she just talks like she's an expert on everything, but really is just the opposite. She doesn't know jack shit about anything. So yeah, if you don't think about it at all, when you first hear that, you might think, oh, that kind of makes sense. I could see how that could help with harassment and stuff. But just there's too many other factors that would make that impossible. So
last October or November,
she's going to be doing that a lot. Watch the faces that she makes and the eyes looking around, darting around, looking for the answers or looking for the next part of the story she's making up.
I was simply just skimming through the comment section of my YouTube and
there may have actually been a death threat, right? I mean, there probably have been a lot. I mean, it's Amberlynn, so probably. So I don't doubt that she got a death threat. It's just what she did with it and what happened next that I'm going to say bullshit.
I usually get a lot of people saying mean things to me. And none of it has ever, like, made me feel any sort of way. Nothing scares me. Nothing like that. It all just makes me feel, like, uncomfy. But there was one that I remember reading that kind of, like, was like, this is how all scary movies start. It was saying how they know where I live, they're gonna off me. They said they live nearby, like this whole thing. And I remember reading it and being like...
So, and remember, this is sped up. That's a great shot. Now, I will say she is sped up a little bit, so she's a little more animated than if it was on normal speed. But I think, honestly, all that does is sort of highlight how bad it is, right? How prevalent her tells are. And how obvious it is, because when you see it kind of sped up, it starts to become more obvious.
Excuse me? I actually took a screenshot of it. This is the only time I've ever done this, like actually been kind of like scared of a comment. I'm really annoyed because I actually do not have the screenshot of it. Obviously, like all of this happened in 2021, but it wasn't until February 2022 when FBI actually tried to contact me. And then I actually didn't even upload.
Okay, so my first thought is, of course, she doesn't have that particular screenshot. You know, she doesn't have the evidence of the thing that started the whole thing. But I think if I had something from 2021, would I still have it? Like, I mean, honestly, if the FBI was involved, then yeah, probably. So now the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm like, it is weird that she doesn't have that.
The story time until March 2022. So yeah, through all the shuffle of it all, I definitely do not have that screenshot anymore, sorry. Well, as I'm taking screenshots and stuff and sending them, I remember I sent it to Becky, a couple other friends of mine. I was like, what is this? Like, what is this? So I guess some of you, so I want to say thank you, actually found that comment and was scared by it as well.
She always says, I got a message saying this, or people are telling me this, when that's likely just not the case. There's nobody out there doing that. So something tells me she's exaggerating, saying that a lot of people were scared of it too. It wasn't just me. And that's her way of being like, it really was a big deal, you guys. It wasn't just me freaking out for no reason.
I get a message on Instagram from my ex's sister and said...
And I think so when she said the ex's sister, if I remember right, people looked into and asked Destiny, and Destiny was like, I don't know what that is. So then everybody was like, okay, if it is true, and that's a big if, but if it is true, then it's probably Crystal's sister. And I can't remember if Casey had a sister. I don't think so. So I think that's why they kind of narrowed it down to Crystal's sister. But it could be either one. It's either Casey or Crystal. But it wasn't Destiny. It was somebody from a long time ago. So there was no way to verify who this person is or if it actually happened, which made it even less credible. So let's see what she says.
The FBI showed up for you. She said,
let me go back.
Sister. I get a message on Instagram from my ex's sister and said, the FBI showed up for you. She sent me a picture of like the card that the FBI gave her. The FBI said, contact her because we need to talk to her. I was terrified. And
what's funny is she didn't show that at the time. Okay. So she's claiming that there was a text message with a picture of a business card at that time. And everybody asked, do you have a picture of that? And she just never showed it. As far as I know, now I could be wrong, but I don't think she ever showed the proof back when it was relevant, back when she says everybody was trolling her about it. So she had this picture, this screenshot, and she just never showed it. So if she's going to show it now, that'll be pretty interesting to see what it looks like, to see what she is producing as proof now.
All of that is true. That very much did happen. And here is a screenshot. I blocked out any personal information, obviously. Here's actually the screenshot of the person messaging me and telling me about it, and then also sending me a picture of the card that the FBI gave them.
Oh, that was too fast.
And then also sending me a picture of the card that the FBI gave them.
Okay, so, I mean, she marked everything out. Like, you can barely see it at all. That's suspicious. Why? Why would you mark out the part that says, you know, Federal Bureau of Investigation or whatever? What is this, U.S.? Maybe Department of Justice? Okay. So the text message could be easily faked, right? This is all easily just produced and, you know, created yourself. So let me see. Hold on. Let me Google. Okay. So I Googled FBI business card, and I know this is pretty pointless and this is all really stupid, but it's just fun to debunk her stupid nonsense, and I'm just going to go with it for a minute. And this, I think this is it, you guys. So this is U.S. Department of Justice. Let me see. Oh my God, that is that. That is that picture. All right, I'm gonna look into this just a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, so I did some digging. I kind of compared the two, and I did make a post, a community post. And so this is kind of what I came up with. Now, this could be a stretch, and I realize that this is probably way more effort than I probably should have put into anything. And I spent too much time on this for sure. Here's the theory that I have come up with. And you can't see it very well on the screen, but the numbers that are barely not marked out right here match pretty well with this 111 down here, okay? Now, this is clearly all exactly the same. The U.S. Department of Justice, all that stuff. But the weird thing is, when you Google FBI business cards, you can see there's tons of them from like the New York offices, the California offices, all these different ones. This is the only one that looks like that. And it's the Seattle division. So why would she be getting a card that is supposedly the card from the Seattle division? That makes no sense. So here's my theory. I think she pulled this up on Google, pulled up the Google search results, and then just took a picture of it with her phone and then cropped it and kind of messed with it and stuff. So, because it's a little off color and stuff. So it looks like a picture of a screen. So again, a little bit of conspiracy theory, but honestly, I wouldn't put it past her, because this is one of those things that's like effort, but pretty low effort. So about as much effort as you would expect from Amber. So, and like I said, all the rest of this stuff is easy to recreate. There's lots of ways to do this. So I'm not buying any of this yet.
I had a panic attack because I had to sit there and think of my life. I was like, literally, did I do something that I don't remember that I did?
It's this. Did I do something? You know, she's just so, her tells are so obvious.
Like, honestly, I was so terrified. I was like, what is happening? And that's low-key downplaying it. I was genuinely scared. I was so confused. Do you guys ever get that feeling?
Do you remember the other day when I said, if she ever says I'm confused or I'm so confused, she's lying? This is a great example. Now, it's not 100%, but it is pretty often. If she says I'm so confused, chances are there's a lie. For some reason, that's a tell of hers, is saying I'm confused. But it's also the mannerisms and the head bobs and just the facial expressions. It's just, she's a bad liar. Back then she was bad, and she's still bad.
And when like you see a cop, like you're in a car and you see a cop and they're behind you, and like literally you think that you've done like the worst crime in the whole world, even though you've literally done nothing. I'm not the only person who feels this way, because there are memes about it, and that's genuinely how this situation felt, but like on steroids, like a million times worse.
And that's true. I think we all experience that, where when a cop gets behind you, Got her. Anyway, we've all experienced that, right? Where a cop gets behind us and we start thinking like, is everything like, is my seatbelt on? And they start thinking of everything they've ever done. Like, are they coming after me for something, or are my taillights okay? That kind of thing. So yeah, we all get that. But she kind of ruins that by saying on steroids, it was a million times worse. Like, such a lie.
I don't know why, but the FBI didn't know I lived here. So this right here is one of the reasons why people are like, this story is so fake. Like, how does the FBI not know where you live? And that is a question that I also have myself. I truly have no idea.
I mean, there's two questions that should be asked in that moment, right? Why do they not know where you live? And also, why are they coming to your house? Like, there are YouTubers and influencers who have far more people sending them threats and credible threats, and the FBI doesn't show up at their house. So come on. Like, why do they not know your address is a legitimate question, but also, why are they even bothering with coming to your house? Why didn't they just call you?
That's fair. Obviously, immediately, I end up calling the number that is on the FBI guy's FBI card. I was so scared. Some woman picked up and she was like, oh yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna stop pointing it out, but just this is the last time, just when she says, I was so scared. And just, it's too much. It's her tell. So just, that's the last time, I promise. I'm not gonna keep bringing up her over exaggerations, but I mean, it's so obvious.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call the FBI guy Frank. And here, the new side character is born. Why not? So Frank was like out of the office or something, and she was like, I can give him a call like on his personal cell phone to get like a hold of you. What was that voice?
Also, what are you saying? That's nonsense. Like, oh, come on.
And in my head, I was like, why does she want to like bother him on his personal phone instead of just like leaving him a message?
Okay, so this, I gotta show you guys something. We are on the NPD kind of overview of symptoms, and one of them is believing that they are special and can only be understood by other special or high status people. Now, we see that with Amber all the time, with like doctors and stuff. If they don't do the tests or give her the answers that she wants, she then calls them like that girl instead of doctor. When she was talking about her weight loss surgery that she was going to get, it was always the best doctors. I've got the best doctor at the best clinic, and it's always just the best of the best for Amberlynn, right? And that's what's happening here. She says that my case was so special that they will call him on his personal cell phone to deal with it. We've got three symptoms happening here at the same time: an exaggerated sense of self-importance, the believing that they are special and can only be understood by other special or high status people, okay? But then also, when she gets to the point where she talks to FBI Frank, he compliments her on her following. So a need for excessive admiration and exaggerating achievements and talents. I mean, that's because she had 100,000 subscribers, which, now here's the thing, that's a lot. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's an accomplishment, right? So she definitely had an achievement, but I don't think it's enough that the FBI agent would comment on it. You know what I mean? So she is displaying three symptoms of NPD in this story so far.
Message, like, what did I do? Oh, I was so scared. I was like, what is the promptness of this? Like, why do they want to talk to me this bad? So I said, thank you. Yes, call him if you want, like, whatever. And I'm a very patient person, but like situations like this, I don't have patience. I was like, oh my God, I need to know, like, what is happening? Very random fact about me. I'm normally a pretty patient person, but
I call absolute 100% grade A bullshit on that. I mean, I bet you if you ask Destiny and Beck and Jade and Emily, is she patient? I think their first answer would be like, hell no, not even a little bit. All right, sorry for the jump scare here, but do you remember this video?
Destiny's about to be home from work. I miss her so much when she's gone.
She's just standing there waiting for Destiny to get home. So, I mean, yeah, did that seem like a patient person to you?
like in this situation, I didn't even know what the word patience meant. Like I needed to know right this minute, like why did FBI Frank want to speak to me? Just imagine the FBI trying to contact you guys. Like it puts you.
So here's the thing. She can say all this all she wants, The only reason I'm still watching is to see what kind of proof she has, the receipts, because we've all heard this stupid story. It's dumb and it's a lie. So let's see what kind of receipts she has.
In a headspace that you didn't even know like you had. So it wasn't even 45 seconds after I hung up with the receptionist. Frank called me. Imagine having the FBI call you from their own personal cell phone that quickly and that swiftly.
Yeah, I think we can all just imagine, just like you. All you can do is imagine, because this didn't happen. The only other option is that it was a troll. And so it did technically happen, but it was fake, which I guess that's a possibility too. But I think she just lied about the whole thing.
I was like, your girl's about to go to prison. I did something that I don't even know that I remember I did.
This is so stupid. Why would the FBI call you to take you to prison? What are you talking about? Like, this is, I don't even know what to say to that. It's so stupid.
Like, I was so anxious. I said, Frank, man, you done scared me. No, okay, it wasn't like that. No, immediately. He said, you are not in trouble. I remember in that very moment, it felt like the weight of the world left me. But then I instantly thought, what did my brother do? What did my dad do? What did my mom do? Like, why do they want to talk to me, of all people? And I was...
Didn't she contact them first? She should have some idea of why they're contacting her at this point. She's the one that turned in the death threat.
I was like, oh my God, what did I do? Turns out, y'all, the FBI is actually on my side. I never thought that, like, cops or...
This is another thing when she does this kind of stuff and with her hands, it's a tell.
Or the FBI even remotely would care about some YouTuber online. I think genuinely we underestimate some scary, scary comments online. And we always think like certain situations like, oh, something like that would never happen to us. That person was just a troll. I mean, it kind of goes along the lines of like when I got diagnosed with cancer, I thought in my head, like prior to, like, oh, that would never happen to me. Like no one's invincible to anything in this world.
Yeah, but nothing happened. So what are you talking about? Like it was a troll. So I don't know.
But turns out that a lot of people reported that very comment that I saw. And I guess they reported it to like authorities, like even higher than like just reporting it to YouTube. The FBI ended up seeing it.
So wait, she's saying that she didn't report it? So let me get this straight. She got this comment that was so scary, she was freaking out about it, and other people were telling her it was scary too. She didn't do anything about it, and other people reported it to the authorities. So then she gets a surprise call from the FBI. This makes literally zero sense. This is complete nonsense and garbage. It's just, it sounds like something you would just make up as you go because it was. This is what's happening right now. She's just making it up because it's just gibberish.
Like Frank was like, oh my God, like complimenting me on my following and stuff. This is another.
There you go. A need for excessive admiration. He was complimenting her on her following, just like all the boys that call her beautiful when she goes to Walmart, and all of the doctors and veterinarians and models that tell her she's beautiful when she's out in public. FBI Frank out here saying, girl, way to go on your YouTube channel.
Part that people tease me about, and it's true, he did compliment me on my following. And I think that just a lot of people...
She's doubling down on it. Because here's the thing, man. What she doesn't understand is if she would just come out and say, all right, you know what? I kind of exaggerated that. Or if she, obviously, if she said, okay, I was lying, she would get a little bit of credibility. But she just doubles down. She's just too stupid. Like, and here's the thing. I may be eating my words in a minute when she has the receipts. They may be the best receipts we've ever seen. It could prove everything. But this is just too stupid, so I don't think so.
Do that because I think that's just a nice thing to say. I don't really think that like everyone has been completely genuine when they compliment me, like when I tell them about my following. Like if like the first time I ever saw my...
So she told him about it. Okay, so here if this happened, which I don't think it did, but if she talked to somebody at the FBI or whatever, the conversation probably went something like this. Amberlynn says, yeah, I got all these death threats and stuff, but I do have 100,000 subscribers because she has to make sure he knows that. I do have 100,000 subscribers, so it could be a lot of people. And they go, oh, that's a lot. That's it. That's probably the compliment me on my following. Because she just admitted.
Everyone has been completely genuine when they compliment me, like when I tell them about my following. Like
when I tell them about my following, right? She had to tell him about it because of course she did. An exaggerated sense of self-importance. Of course she did. So, yeah. She told him how big it was, and he said, oh, wow, that's a lot. That was the end of the conversation. Again, all of this happened in her head because none of this is true.
If like the first time I ever saw my tax accountant, like 8 years ago, I was complimented by them because they needed to know my job. And then one time, like I was signing up for a freaking Costco card years ago, and they complimented me on my thing then because you needed to say what your job was. Like, I think people just say that to be nice.
So what she's saying is, when they ask her job, she says, I make YouTube videos. By the way, I have X number of subscribers. All right. I don't think they ask her how many subscribers she has. I don't think Costco cares. I don't think Costco is like, what is your job? YouTuber. How many subscribers? That doesn't happen. So what she's admitting to right here is that she just walks around telling everybody like, hey, my name's Amberlynn. I have 100,000 subscribers. My name's Amberlynn. I have 200,000 subscribers. My name's Amberlynn. I have 260,000 subscribers. That's been her life. Is just, that's how she introduces herself.
Doesn't mean they're being 100% genuine, but FBI Frank did compliment me. Whether he actually meant it or not, it did happen. But guess what? So they took that comment very seriously.
And it's funny because you know that, again, if this happened, that comment of her following was in passing. It was such a small thing, but that was something she focused on. Because that's what her mind goes to is, wow, he complimented me. You know, I got to make sure I log that so I can bring it up later and tell somebody about it.
They should. They did a whole IP address, like tracked him. Ooh. Okay, I'm not going to say who the person is that left that comment, but it is a guy. And I know his full name. I know where he lives. So.
And this is getting ahead of any comments that she could get in the future by saying, if you leave comments that are mean, I can find out who you are.
They were like worried for me. They were like, do you know this guy?
Notice how she says they were worried for me. They were just doing their job, asking the questions that they ask anybody. But she's convinced that they were really worried about her specifically. Like, oh my gosh, girl, we're here for you. It's that inflated sense of self-importance.
I said, nope, never heard of him. So I don't know. I think it's pretty neat that like, if there is like a fear that I have from a YouTube comment or a message, Frank is there. He said, call me anytime. Aw, FBI Frank being there. I actually did not contact him since then. So if you ever feel threatened or anything like that, I've never talked to the FBI before. So I thought that was like literally the craziest thing. Like they were really, truly worried about my safety. And I don't know, I felt like really safe for a minute there.
I don't care about any of this. We've already established this is complete nonsense. So let's get to the receipts, please.
This happened like, I know it's been like over a month, maybe 2 months. I don't really know.
And that's not how Amberlynn works, right? If something happens that she can brag about, she would have made a community post. If she couldn't get to her camera fast enough, she would have made a community post about it. She will always want to make sure you know that she's getting some kind of special treatment. So she would not have waited a month to say something about it.
Like, oh my God, what did I do? Like, what did I do? But it turns out I didn't do anything. They were actually just there for me. I don't know. So the day that I did get in contact with the FBI, I was actually going over to a friend's house that day, and they were trying to call me, but I was on the phone with the FBI. So then I actually texted my friends, and I was like, this isn't even clickbait. This was something that we used to say, like when we would say something outrageous. We'd be like, this is not clickbait. But I even sent them a text, which you can see here in the screenshot, where I was like, I was just on the phone with the FBI, and I'll explain when I get to your house.
Again, this is stuff that you could fake pretty easily, especially because the black background in this stuff. The thing is with texts like this, it is really easy to fake because the black background. I could just take a screenshot of this, right? You can see I can take a screenshot. Okay, so I just took a screenshot of that. So now I've got this to use. And since the background is black, it blends in really well with an already black background. So it's really easy to fake something like this. Now, I may be giving her too much credit, you know, and the bottom line is none of this really matters anyway. It's a stupid story, but I think it's fake.
Not gonna lie, watching this video makes me want to do a mukbang. It makes me want to just enjoy a meal with you guys. Something I genuinely love about mukbang.
Enjoy a meal with you guys. She's using her mental gymnastics to excuse this obviously detrimental behavior for her. The last thing she needs to do is eat a giant meal for the camera, but she's gonna, right? She's started to plant the seeds in her head. I don't know if she needs the money anymore. She's got all these new members, which is not great, which is just flabbergasting to me, but whatever. But she knows that's a pretty easy source of income. I mean, she's already admitted it's super easy. She's now saying like, makes me want to do it. So I think she's going to start doing it again. And I mean, whatever. Honestly, a lot of the best moments in girl world history come from her stupid mukbangs, you know? So, I mean, I don't care. She can do whatever she wants. But I mean, if she really wants to lose weight and get healthier, and here's the thing, back when she was doing the mukbangs, whatever, she was younger. She's getting older now. Her age and her weight are going to start catching up to her. Now, don't get me wrong, she's not old. I mean, 34 is not that old. But I guess my point is, the older that she gets, the more likely the detrimental health effects are going to start showing up and start catching up to her. So if she starts down the mukbang path right now, it's far more dangerous than it was 5 or 6 years ago, or even 3 or 4 years ago.
Mukbangs is I eat less in them, because when I'm eating at home by myself, because I live by myself, I'm usually eating while watching something, and I eat extremely fast, and it's like I'm not sitting there enjoying my meal. But when I film a mukbang, I'm eating slow, talking to you guys in between bites.
Now, again, this was recorded before Beck spilled the tea that she has never wasted food, that she pretends like she doesn't eat the whole thing, and then she turns the camera off and eats it anyway. So no, she eats just as much. In fact, she probably eats more on the mukbangs because she gets so much food, far more than you would normally get. So no, she will eat it all. And she thinks she's fooling everybody, because even during Shrimpgate, she was talking about how, oh, you can lose weight while doing mukbangs and stuff. It's not that hard. And yet she was gaining so much weight. She got to the point where she was basically bedbound. So here we go with the mental gymnastics again.
I don't know, I kind of miss it.
And she, honestly, I think she said that just because she knew people would comment on it. It's rage bait again.
The shrimp tastes amazing.
When I talk about it, it's not taking the rage bait. Thank you. I'm not commenting in her comment section. I'm just talking about it on my channel.
But I very much am a texture person, and the texture of shrimp.
She's a texture person. She's a patient person. She's a freaked out by chicken person. She's a freaked out by meat person.
Y'all, behind the scenes, I'm trying to really do some stuff. I genuinely have no idea what I'm talking about there. And I don't know if I actually talk any more about the FBI Frank stuff in this. So I'm going to continue watching this. And if I do have something to say about the FBI stuff, then I will let you know. But I do have a screen recording of me actually speaking to the person who first sent me the FBI card and said the FBI came by to speak to you. So I want to show you guys what I said to them, which is also proof that I wasn't lying. All right, so I did watch the rest of the video, and
so now this will be interesting to see what she means, but she's saying that she has a recording of her talking to them? Because that didn't prove jack shit.
no more talk of FBI Frank happened. So here I'm going to show you the voice memos that I actually sent the person who contacted me. So here it is. Okay, so
she's using a voice memo that she sent to them as proof.
Sending this in voice memo because I feel like it would be easier. So first of all, thank you so much for reaching out to me. I just got so much anxiety and I was so scared, but I figured I would tell you guys
she didn't talk about anxiety back then like that.
Why they wanted to talk to me, because I just called them.
So she really is just using a voice memo that she sent them, supposedly, as proof. I mean, I could do that. I don't know if you guys knew this, but the moon landing actually happened in my backyard, and also aliens have been found back there, and I have proof. You want to hear it? Hey, I just wanted to get back in touch with you about the alien we found in the backyard. And we went ahead and cooked him up and ate him. I didn't know if you wanted some of the meat because it's pretty delicious. Also, since the fake moon landing was in our backyard too, if you want to come pick up that equipment, I'll be home next Tuesday from 3 to 5. So the fake flag is back there if you want to pick that up, plus all the, NASA gear and this stuff that looks like we landed on the moon. But anyway, yeah, I appreciate it, and call me back. Thanks, bye. So, I mean, that's proof that the moon landing happened in my backyard and that there was an alien back there, and we cooked them and ate them. So, can't argue with it. It's true. This is so stupid. This is obviously fake. So, is she really this stupid, or is this just a troll? This has to be a troll, because this is stupid even for her.
I did something bad and I didn't know, So after calling, the guy got a hold of me, and it turns out they saw a comment on my YouTube page from back in October. And they found the guy's name and they have a picture of him. So they want to show me the guy to see if I like know him or not. I don't know. But I was really scared. But thank you for contacting me. I hope you're doing good. So the last 10 seconds of that voice memo was something personal to them about their life. So I am just saying that obviously I'm going to leave that part out. So the FBI Frank story is absolutely without a doubt.
Oh, that was clever. That was a clever way to make it seem like it was legit. Yeah, on mine too, I had something I cut out too. It was personal about my friend.
Real. It did happen. I know it sounds far-fetched. I know it sounds crazy, but it did happen. And due to
So if there was ever any contact with anybody claiming to be an FBI agent, it was most likely a troll. If it happened at all, which I still don't believe any of this happened. I think she just likes to pretend like she's some special person. But I mean, the stuff that she showed today is clearly fake. So she did not do herself any favors if she's really trying to prove that it was real.
Due to them not knowing where I live, that obviously raises questions of, was this just a troll? I don't have the answer for you because I don't know. I'm strictly telling you what happened to me. And the whole FBI Frank story is 100% true, troll or not. But like, it seemed very real. All I took out of this video is I want to film a mukbang, y'all. Like, what the heck? Anyways, that is the end of this Reactland. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
Yeah, she's just teeing up everybody to be ready for her second mukbang era, I guess. And I don't think she's going to. I think she's just doing that because she knows people will talk about it. And honestly, we know this is a distraction. This is just her trying to take our minds away from the allegations and all the Beck stuff and everything. Now, this is before, like I said, this is before Beck's second video where the real stuff came out, like the inheritance and all that stuff. But it was still when Beck was talking about some pretty heavy stuff and she didn't want to talk about it. Amber didn't want to talk about it. So she just thinks, we'll just all forget about that. We'll just be talking about FBI Frank. And here's the thing. We will today. And this is it. We're gonna all laugh and point and say how stupid she is for today. And then tomorrow we're going to go back to being like, yeah, that's funny. But also, what about that inheritance? Also, what about all the other terrible stuff you do? Because guess what? Two things can happen at the same time. I feel like I've heard that before.
I do firmly believe that two things can happen at once. I can be accountable, but I can also be frustrated.
I mean, two things can happen at once. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.